Morning, Josh. How are we?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks for asking. Good,
Good.
good.
Hey, good evening
Uh,
to you from the
well,
past.
would be where you are, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I'm Ian. I'm from High Flyway. Let's get the introductions out of the way. You're Josh. You're from Story of the Year.
I try to
Uh,
be.
yeah. I'm going to start with a pretty big question because obviously I know you're coming over here shortly. It's the 20-year anniversary of Page Avenue. But I think probably the most important question I can ask you at the moment is what's going on with the Cardinals?
I don't know, man. I just don't know. Here's my thing. I think the next few years are going to be eventually good, but we went like 25 years of excellence.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, over the span of like 20 years, we missed the playoffs like three times, won a couple championships. We're due for a eh, kind of
Rebuild.
thing. Yeah, my only issue that I have currently, I think um, the John Mozeliak, the guy who makes all the decisions, I don't. I know the Cardinals have money. I feel like they're afraid to spend it. Um, and I also feel like we're wasting the talent of our first and third basemen in their good years.
Hmm.
And I feel bad for those guys because they came here expecting probably more than what's been happening.
Well, the weird
But
thing is you're only half a game out of the wild card spot.
I know, but it's just we haven't been consistent. And that's kind of, we went consistent for like a week or two, but we were playing shitty teams.
Yeah.
So it was, as soon as we hit like the Phillies, it was okay, get out of here.
Everyone's losing to the Phillies. It's really weird. I'm a Giants fan, so we're only half a
Okay.
game ahead of you. All right, so that's how I know we're less than
Yeah,
five wins
but
in
here's the
12.
thing. Yeah, it's only June.
Yeah,
So, I mean, until it becomes like mid-July, then it's for me that's kind of we'll see where we're at,
yeah,
but I don't know. I've peripherally paying attention currently. I've been entrenched in Formula One for the last like 4 years,
oh, nice.
so uh, that's pretty much all I pay attention to. Other than I have my EPL soccer that I pay attention to. So
Oh, I'm going to ask who do you support?
Tottenham,
Okay, all right. Any reason for
which is
Tottenham?
um, so I've always loved soccer or football, whatever. I've always loved it. I never really had a team
Hmm.
over in at the English Premier League. I mean, we didn't really MLS. St. Louis just got a team last year, so I just kind of peripherally watched, and it was just
Hmm.
like I love watching it. I didn't have a rooting interest. Certain players I'd like to watch more than others, whatever. But my brother-in-law really got into it, and his team was Tottenham, and it just kind of bled into me, where I was just like, okay, well that can be my team because me and my brother-in-law can watch it, and it's a it's painful to be a Tottenham fan
Yeah, I've got a few
because it's
Spurs.
like we're really good and then we're not. Halfway through the
Only,
season, they go, you know what? We're not gonna. So
so I'm in Australia, so with them having an Australian coach, the profile's gone quite high because everyone's watching that at this point. And you're right, the season started off great, and then near the end, it's like watching a car crash. It was like, oh my,
oh yeah, but it's almost like that every year.
yeah, true,
So,
true,
but I think there's really good pieces in place. I think he's a great manager. I think it's just going to take a year or two to have people buy in. You know what I mean? So, and then Madison was out for a long time. What's that defenseman Vander?
Oh yeah, the real quick one, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like
You had
we
Son
had some
missing as well.
yeah, you have some injuries and stuff here and there. So I mean, every team has it, but
Hmm.
I think for the Spurs, it was a mixture of things. I think it's just going to take a minute for that managerial style to kind of, I don't know, take shape, I guess, more or less.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
we'll see. All right, so that's the important stuff out of the way. Let's
Yeah,
talk
for sure.
so the last time you were in Australia was Knotfest last year.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, so what have you been doing in the meantime?
Touring. Uh, when was that? Was that like a year ago?
Yeah, it was March last year.
Okay, it's a little over a year. Yeah, I mean, lots of touring. We came back and I don't know what we did in between that, and we went out with Yellow Card for the
Mhm.
summer here. Had a little bit off, then went and did our 20th anniversary here in the States.
Yeah.
And then just kind of been doing that and some fly out gigs, things like that. And, we went out to LA for a week to start the initial stages of a new record. Um, yeah. And then, we're getting ready to go out with the U's next week for 3 weeks, come home for a couple, then come down to you guys. And then, yeah, I mean, we've just been kind of touring and being at home.
Yeah, fair enough. Um, so it's going to be the 20 years of Page Avenue. You did something similar 10 years ago as well,
Mm-hmm.
when you toured at the 10-year anniversary. In that one, you didn't play the album from start to finish. You played the album, but not,
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
concurrently? Right word. What about this time? Are you going to be doing a similar thing or changing all up?
Similar thing.
Yeah,
We've done it in order, and it's not a cool show.
fair
It's
enough.
I just think that the way that record is built, it goes cool, and then there's the middle section, and like listening to it, great.
Yeah,
Live, it doesn't work as well. We've done it, and it just like you were playing. It's like cool anthem until day I die, second and third. Anybody that didn't want to see anything else can go home now. So like uh so we've kind of figured out a way to make it so I mean we'll play all of Page Avenue obviously, and then there's probably 5 other songs that we mix in the set. Most like 3 of them are new, so
Mhm.
because it's like we have a new record too. It just kind of coincided with the 20th year of Page Avenue, so we didn't really get to fully tour on it. So
Yeah, yeah, because that new record was Tear Me to Pieces,
yeah.
which came out last year as well. And I spoke to Adam last year just before Knotfest about Tear Me to Pieces and that. And the cover art's essentially the same. Right, but at the time when I was speaking to Adam about the record, and we spoke more about the lyrical content, about how a lot of it was about toxic relationships and such forth. I completely missed the cover art. Was there an intentional nod to Page Avenue in that, or was it just kind of like a logo type thing?
I think I mean, there was a kind of a nod to Page Avenue. I guess there's themes of that throughout the whole record of just sound, and this sound could have been on Page Avenue, or it could have been the next record at whatever. But I think whatever reason, we made that Falling Guy extremely popular on one record and then never used it again.
Yeah,
And I think just with the way things are nowadays and trying to, I mean, I guess it's a little strategic in the sense of like you see that thing if you, I mean, not everybody obviously, but you see that and you kind of know it's us.
yeah,
You correlate that with the band name or with Until the Day I Die or whatever. So I think just kind of recapturing that and kind of actually using that as like a staple of a logo again, and not just, I mean, I'm sure we'll use it, like putting it on Tear Me to Pieces kind of makes it not just Page Avenue anymore. It brings it as this is story of the year. Because I
Hmm.
mean, we've never had consistent logoing. Like it was the first record, the second record was totally different, the third and the fourth were totally like we're idiots in that aspect of we didn't do branding very well, I guess. So
Yeah,
uh bringing that back in and kind of using some of the same font and stuff like that from the earlier stuff is more of just there's nods to it sonically and feeling wise for us, but to me it was more of like, okay, let's bring that back in
yeah,
to kind of have people make a visual correlation again. And that's probably we'll use that going forward in some degree, I'm sure, and on everything.
Well, it's almost like the NBA logo. Like, you
Yeah,
see that NBA logo,
yeah,
it's NBA. It's the same thing. You
of
see
course.
that going across.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's visual things because our name is so fucking long that like branding for it isn't like easy like
Yeah.
the used. Like it's just stuff like that. It's just it's 4 words. It's stuff that we have to kind of figure out ways to make it you know all integrated and easy to recognize.
Yeah. I was going to ask this question near the end, but I'll ask it now. Um, do you get frustrated by people getting you mixed up with the story so far? Does it happen?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't necessarily get frustrated. I just kind of, people have short attention spans now, so they don't lock in on anything. And there's so much information going in and out all the time. It's easy to get mixed up, I guess.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me really. I don't. It hasn't happened in a way that like it has severely affected anything.
Yeah.
So
Okay. You're
you
just
know,
happy people are speaking to you. You're like, yeah, great, my
yeah,
music.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so, um, I went through obviously some of the social media last couple of days, and you guys are going to put up because I know you're touring with Yellow Card in Europe in a few months as well. So William for Yellow Card, Buddy from Senses Fail, who you'll be here with, they've all spoken about how inspirational that Page Avenue album was. So not just them, but of course a whole generation of people. When you were recording that, did you ever like look at each other and go, "Yeah, we're onto something"?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew that what we were doing for us and to us individually was special. I mean, we just kind of like we all had a good feeling about it, but like you don't know until it comes out. I mean, I don't anybody who says that like I knew this song was gonna do this, they're lying.
Mm.
Nobody knows. It's an impossible uh thing to foresee. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Especially your first things you're putting out. You just nobody knows. And so I think for us, it took us till probably a couple years after Page Avenue came out to kind of go, oh, that was something for a lot of people, and it influenced a lot of like a next generation of bands.
Mm.
Whether or not they want to openly admit it or not, because they don't. Uh, like it did something for that genre, and we were part of those first sections of bands for our specific subgenre of whatever genre it started. There's too many genres now,
Yeah.
but it did something. But I think it took us a while to be outside of that eye of the storm of being in it and touring and doing all the things for 2 years straight or whatever we did. It took a minute to kind of reflect on it and realize it.
Did you like? I mean, obviously, it became such a huge success as you've just mentioned, um, which is great. Gives you your career, pays the bills, that sort
Mm.
of did though at some point, especially from the record company as an example, did it start to become a weight round your neck as well with every subsequent release?
Um, I think there might have been times like that. It wasn't like that on the second record,
Mhm.
as you can tell, because it's an obvious like complete departure from the first record. So, but I think after the second record, it was like, oh, I think there's certain times where like, you try to force something that isn't necessarily there, to try to recapture something instead of just kind of going in and going, whatever happens, happens. Let's just make good music. You do try to force things from time to time. Um, I think that happened probably on the third and fourth record, definitely the fourth record. and we were just kind of we weren't in a great place as a band anyway. Not that we were mad at each other. We were just artistically just not maybe on the same page anymore, and just kind of burnt out with the, like, that was 2008, 9. So like the rock
Very quick.
scene kind of just, you know what I mean? Record sales were piss poor by then for sure. So just in general, not just us, like everybody, like streaming and illegal downloading, all that stuff was kind of in that 5 year span. And um, so when we went to make our fifth record, Wolves, like I don't even think we thought about it because we were doing it ourselves anyway.
Yeah.
We did a crowdfunding thing, so that just wasn't even a thought. And then when we did Tear Me to Pieces, it was thought about, but not in the same way of trying to do Page Avenue again.
Yeah.
It was, let's just write good songs. Like, not, there's 2 songs on the record that are over 3 minutes. That whole
Yeah.
record is 32 minutes long or whatever it is.
Real quick.
It's like,
Yeah.
so we just cut out all of the normal fat that we would normally like keep just to play something cool or whatever, and just made good songs. Whether they're heavy, acoustic, poppy, it doesn't matter. We like to do all of it. So it was just very like, let's just do something rad that we love. But we did it with the producer who was a fan. He grew up as a fan and loved our band. So like you have that fan perspective too, of like somebody who's extremely talented as a musician himself and a songwriter, to go, as a fan, I can tell you what your fans want to hear from you now. After all these years,
Mm.
Page Avenue is Page Avenue. You don't have to re-record Page Avenue, but that's you guys.
Yeah.
That's not forcing anything. That's your first record. That's what you guys went to as like second nature before all the other things happened or whatever. So it was trying to recapture some of that, the essence of it, not like song structures and melodies, and just the essence of that first record, but with a like a new updated feel to it, with all the new things that we like all of the, you know, programming and synths and all that kind of stuff that we all have like grown to love a lot more, and just try to integrate it all, but still
Yeah.
be us. Because I mean, we write some heavy shit because we like to play heavy shit. You know, we come from all different kinds of musical backgrounds of what we like and listen to, and you know, like Dan's super punk and hardcore, and you know, Ryan is, one of his favorite bands is Smashing Pumpkins, and you know, I love Deftones, but I also listen to hip hop, and you
Okay.
know, all like Adam loves Pantera. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just, we're not just these kids that grew up and listened to the same music all together all the time. Yeah, there's bands we like in common, but as like a full, if you open like a CD book back in the day, like there's anything and
Yeah.
everything, dude. Like so, just
Um,
trying to capture the essence of the early stage of our life and just have fun. It's got to be fun.
well, that was like Tear Me to Pieces was I named it as one of my top albums of last year. And a lot of it was because of, as you mentioned, the energy. Like tracks like War and Afterglow, you know, were quite heavy. And then you had this beautiful melodic Use Me at the end of the album. You
Yeah.
had kind of traditional in real life in 2005,
Hmm.
I suppose. And I really love the contrast. As you're right, as you said, it was real quick in that, which leads me to, whenever I listen to music, I do visualize what does it sound live. So then I go to your band and I think, well, you are a band that plays fast and loud with a huge amount of energy that's in there as well. So bringing that then to the shows for next month, like, is it going to be? I'm guessing it's not going to be a Metallica play for 3.5 hours. I'm guessing it's going to be
Do.
it's going to be 75 minutes, maybe 90 minutes. Would that be fair?
Yeah, about that. Probably more like 90 with us bullshitting in between songs like we do.
Have a
But yeah,
breather.
it'll be something about like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, the cool thing for us is when we like come to Australia, we can actually like dip into some of the heavier stuff, because I've always felt when we come to Australia we can be heavier. for whatever reason. I've always felt that outside of the United States, people and fans don't care if you're one record to the next. We played Knotfest,
Yeah.
and it was rad. I thought we were the weakest band on that tour as far as like how heavy we are, but it worked. Everyone in the fucking crowd knew until the day I die. Like, and it was just like, oh, okay, nobody gives a shit down here. Like, if we would have played Knotfest in the States, we would have got booed, shit thrown at us. I can guarantee it. So it's like, I like coming down there, and because we can kind of like, it doesn't always have to be, well, we have to build this set around all Page Avenue songs plus like stuff that sounds like Page Avenue. We don't need to do that. Like, it doesn't matter. It's Australia is tied for number one with Japan for my favorite places to go outside the United States. And it's actually probably better than the United States to me most of the time.
Yeah.
Everyone in Australia I've ever met is always in a good mood, smiling, nice. Like, it's such good vibes down there that like I love it there. I wish I could move there, but your government's smart and doesn't let outside people in very often.
I'm not touching that one. I'm letting that one go.
Not in the sense of like meaning that like it's just hard to have citizenship there. It's very rigid. You know what I mean? It's just I didn't mean that to offend anybody, but
I know what you mean.
It's just hard. It's hard to live there if you're not from there, and I think that helps with like the vibe of there.
Well,
to me, at least.
We're always thankful when anybody comes over because we appreciate as well that it's a long way away. Like if you're flying in from LA, that's what, 14, 15 hours. Like, that's not a fun time.
We're flying from Dallas. It's 16.
Yeah.
But we get to fly from St. Louis to Dallas, Dallas to Sydney, then Sydney to Perth. It's like right away. Yeah. So
no one's going to be in a good mood when you get to Perth.
That's going to be like 30 something hours of travel.
Ouch.
But it's worth it to me. It's just so rad down there that it doesn't bother me.
I think we'll make it worth it for you guys as well, because I know quite a few people who are keen to see your shows, and I'm in Adelaide, so I'll most likely see you guys at the Adelaide show.
Sweet.
I've only got 20
We haven't
minutes.
been there in a while.
Yeah, we didn't come out last year. When you did your 3 side shows, they weren't in Adelaide, and obviously Knotfest wasn't in Adelaide either.
And I think there was a time before that we came and we played Perth, and then the 3 other ones, not Adelaide. We skipped it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not on us. That's the people who book us down there, because we always get yelled at for it. We're like, look, dude, we got the offer. I don't know.
Well, I was only meant to have 20 minutes, and Tiana's given me a couple more, so thank you for that. I'll let you go, and best luck on the tour, and we'll see you when you get here in August.
For sure. Awesome, man. Thanks. Take it easy.